Hey, you. You're finally awake.
No, I didn't forget about you, please! Don't kill me! It's the blue.
Building another.
Oh.
Make sure I found.
As you know by now, I love VR. If you're watching this video, it's likely that you do too. I'm a massive nerd for it, from the people I've met
Should I check? Hold on.
Yeah, good job.
to the games I've mastered, to some of the most interesting and inventive game designs and concepts in gaming as a whole.
Sick, actually. Sorry.
There are, as of writing this, 6,349 games on Steam that are listed under virtual reality. My goal is to play as many of these as reasonably possible, to then relay to you the good, the bad, and the ugly. VR House's glass apartment promised to be a beautiful walkthrough of some stranger's yard.
That's fucking crazy.
I was thoroughly looking forward to giving it a go after seeing the gameplay footage, especially with the excitement of this experimental series ahead of me. I couldn't wait.
Please fire me up this absolutely sick game.
Upon booting up, however, the true nature of this game reared its confusing, slow, and frankly nauseating head.
Holy fuck. This is not good.
On any controller layout with two thumbsticks, it's left stick to move and right stick to look around. Because that makes sense, and that's how it's always been.
Oh, and it's right stick to move. The movement makes no sense. I promise you these controls are not good.
This was inverted in the layout for this game, which was the first hurdle to jump in the menagerie of silly fucking stupid problems this game pretended to not have. Secondly, the frame rate was awful. I have a decent build, I'm running a 4060 Ti at the moment, so realistically my computer shouldn't have had any problems even with VR plus streaming. This leads me to believe that it was as optimized as the London Underground as it choked my PC like my motherboard fucking enjoyed it.
Holy fuck, it's so laggy.
Man, this is Clippy AF.
I know, bro, you're telling me. This was made in Unity in about 10 minutes.
Lastly, the cost. This game cost me a dear £10, which sounds fair, especially when you just see the ad for it. I was quite content with the price being what it is. But for 5 minutes to mopey about some cunt's house whilst moving around like an alcoholic with 2 left feet, on top of also having a slideshow filter against my poor supple eyeballs? Overall, it was ass. I would have enjoyed it otherwise, I'm quite a nosy bastard, so snooping around someone's private property almost comes naturally, though this was unbearable. Next on the list was the acid trip that was Stilt VR. You play as a bipedal cyborg blue fox creature and your goal is to bounce around the Mario-esque world Gorilla Tag style, collecting stamps and assisted suiciding half-hatched yellow squids. I'll admit, the combat certainly wasn't front and centre for this game, though it was creative. There were power-ups and interesting level designs with mazes and structures galore. The level select screen was also quite intuitive, with the big bad a fully hatched hot pink octopus with a questionable appendage.
It looks like a penis.
You hop around the level select screen to choose your next adventure by entering tiny holes with the TARDIS effect of a full level being on the other side. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows though, as if you accidentally entered a bush, your entire screen would become green. This doesn't sound like a problem, until you remember you're in VR, and now the colour green has been burned into your retinas, rendering you visionless. On the same note, once entering a new level, they decided to one-up themselves on the green screen by literally flash-banging your eyeballs. I cannot stress how horrible this was, with what is essentially 2 screens strapped to my face. It's safe to say I actively lost about 2 perception points per loading screen due to this, and thus am now blind to this day. In all seriousness though, this was my only gripe with it. The movement was fun and you could for sure master it. This game looks great also if you're under 10 years old, and there was a genuine story behind this, albeit a fairly shallow one from what I could tell, simply to explain the gameplay. Overall it was fun, and one of the first
A whole ass game.
I've seen. I'd like to preface this with a statement.
What am I doing?
I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, and sometimes struggle to follow basic instructions even with help from chat. So maybe this game was just a bit too smart for me, as I have since seen others' gameplay of this and they managed to make the game work way better than I did. From what I could tell whilst playing, it was a Dungeon Defenders-like game with waves of enemies and certain spells and abilities that help you clear the waves. The part that stumped me was the safe forest area in between rounds that just filled my smooth brain with so much information that I got a little bit lost.
Fuck it, I'm so confused. There's just too much information going on.
It seemed like you could upgrade your cards with gems, though I couldn't figure that out. I found some potions but didn't know what they did and had no idea how to acquire any new cards. From the visuals to the gameplay, you could really tell someone had put a lot of work into making this game, so I'm not going to shit on it because it was clearly a labour of love. The world did look beautiful, with gentle lighting in the upgrade area, with interesting gameplay mechanics relating the card battles in a roguelike setting similar to something like Slay the Spire.
Aggressor, put them under pressure. Aggressor.
Last on my list is possibly one of my favourite finds of all time. You play as Rig with his brother King pottering around slums called New Braca looking for trouble. You're piloting a huge gorilla-like mech with which you can throw yourself around and beat the fuck out of your opponents with giant metal fists. The fists follow your VR hands, but within the game you're controlling the guy in the mech, so it's like a middleman deal to make the mech feel more accurate. Genius. Like Rock 'n' Roots, this game is very much a roguelike where you go through stages fighting multiple variations of anthropomorphic robots with their own sets of abilities, health bars, and counters. You upgrade your mech as you go with new arms and cockpits with their own sets of stats and rarity to keep the game fresh and to adjust the way you fight, making the gameplay super dynamic. In between rounds, you interact with storekeepers, events, and in-game lore. When you reach the final stage, you fight a boss, most like the mech you're piloting, with their own abilities and unique design, making the build-up that more intense. The music throughout accentuates the theme and atmosphere of the game, with a filthy UK grime soundtrack to keep your heart rate at 180 beats per minute, as if it needed encouragement after the intense gameplay. You also have an in-game commentator telling you tips during fights to make sure you don't miss anything, which is quite a prominent issue in VR right now. They'll tell you when you're absolutely annihilating bots, when your HP on your arm or your cockpit is low,
I'm dead.
when a new enemy spawns you haven't seen before. Lastly, the visual styling of this game is incredible. Whilst in the arena it's gloomy and metallic and this honestly doesn't really change much from place to place, the real shining star of the visual side of things is the way the game delivers lore. They portray these 2.5D comics throughout the game in between fights that are just a treat for the eyes and an excellent way to tell a story, also capitalising on the perspective of VR as the comics kinda move around as you do. The story itself is inherently captivating despite how incredible the art is anyways, with well-written characters, interesting character dynamics and an overarching story. It really does have it all. This game is a fucking masterpiece, and no, I'm not being paid to say any of this stuff, this is my genuine opinion, and if you take anything from this video, go and try Underdogs for yourself. That about wraps up the first increment of Inside VR. From the lackluster VR houses, glass apartment, to the exhilarating ride that is Underdogs, we've seen just how varied the world of VR can be. Each game offers something unique, whether it's a frustrating control scheme, a vibrant but blinding world, or a masterpiece that stands out in every possible way. Since you've made it this far, consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel to appease our AI god algorithm. If you have any suggestions on what games you're curious about or you think I should try, drop them in the comments below. All of the gameplay content you saw I have taken directly from my stream over at twitch.tv/charm_Charles. I keep a regular stream schedule posted over there, including stuff like this. If you're curious, come and check me out and hit me with a follow. Until next time, stay safe.